When it comes to your apartment decor, do you think you're more of a minimalist or a maximalist? Or maybe you're somewhere in between the two. In the spectrum of maximalism and minimalism, where do you fall? In this video, I'm going to give you a little quiz, a series of questions you can ask yourself to find out where you stand in the battle between maximalism versus minimalism. Not that it's actually a battle, both styles prevail in this because both are beautiful in different ways. I'm more of a maximalist, but I love minimalism too. And if you're new here, my name is Steffi, and on this channel I give small apartment styling tips and cozy living inspiration. So before we dive into these questions, just keep in mind that, of course, this is not like a binary thing. You might be a little bit of a maximalist and a little bit of a minimalist at the same time. This isn't about putting you in a box. This is just a fun way to get some insight into maximalism versus minimalism and get you thinking about how each style could apply to you. So the first question is, between these two options, which comes closest to how you want your apartment to make you feel? Do you want to feel calmed and soothed and relaxed? Or do you want to feel excited and creatively charged? If you chose the first option, you might want to consider minimalism. Minimalism is great for someone who just needs to really unwind in their home and not have too many stimuli going on. And you just want your apartment aesthetic to feel like a soothing oasis. It's a simpler environment, and that creates a calming effect on one's mood. If you chose the second option, you want to feel excited and creatively charged, then maximalism might be a better fit for you. Maximalism is all about expressing yourself creatively. It's about giving in to your creative impulses and kind of going wild with your decor. And being surrounded by a bunch of things that inspire you and light you up is going to create more of an exciting and creatively charged environment. The next question is, which group of pictures do you like the best? Between these two groupings of photos, which one appeals to you most? If you chose the first group of photos, then you might be a maximalist. If you chose the second group of photos, then you might be a minimalist. The next question is, how much visual stimulation do you like? This one's actually a big one when it comes to maximalism versus minimalism, because I think a lot of what makes someone a maximalist or a minimalist all comes down to how much stimulation a person's brain jives with best. Some of us thrive off of a lot of visual stimulation, and some of us need way less. Some of us get stressed out by too much stimulation. So if you thrive off of a lot of visual stimulation, you might be a maximalist, because maximalism is all about visual stimulation. A maximalist is genuinely lit up by lots of visual things going on around them. Now, if you're someone who doesn't want a ton of visual stimuli happening all at once, you might be more of a minimalist. Unlike the minimalist needs kind of a break from a ton of visual stimuli, and their home can be a way to create that break. The next question is, which of the following Instagram accounts appeal to you more? Here's the first group of Instagram accounts. And here's the second group of Instagram accounts. If you found yourself more attracted to the first group, you might be more of a minimalist. These Instagram accounts really embody the spirit of minimalism, and I highly recommend you follow them. I will link to all of these Instagram accounts in the description below, but I highly recommend you follow these for your own minimalism inspiration. If you're more into the second group of Instagram accounts, then you might be more of a maximalist. These Instagram accounts really exemplify the spirit of maximalism, and just like with the group of minimalist accounts, I will link to them in the description below. Highly recommend you follow them for inspiration. The next question is, both minimalism and maximalism have their challenges. So which of the following challenges sound more manageable to you? Having to purchase lots and lots of things and then figure out how to make them all look good together without creating a hodgepodge? Or having to show a lot of restraint and discipline in what you buy, and having to upkeep a more clean and minimal environment on a daily basis? If the first challenge sounds more manageable to you, then maximalism might be a better fit. Because the challenge with maximalism really is you're gonna be spending more money because you're just simply buying more things to create the look. And the art to maximalism is to create an aesthetically pleasing picture with all of these things. It's not about like just buying a whole bunch of things mindlessly and then throwing them into a room. It's creating a visually pleasing picture with lots of stuff. If the second challenge sounds more doable for you, then minimalism might be a better fit for you. I think the tough thing about minimalism is you really do have to show a lot of restraint, not just in the decor you buy, but also how you live on a daily basis. Just like with maximalism, there's a lot of intentionality that has to go into minimalism. It's not just buying less things, it's being very mindful about the few things that you buy and then placing them in a way that creates a beautiful picture, and then having to keep that up on a daily basis. Minimalists they're a disciplined bunch, whereas maximalists are much more about indulging in our whims. The next question is, which of the following artwork do you like the best? Here's the first group of artwork. And then here's the second group of artwork. If you chose the first group, then you might be more of a minimalist. If you chose the second group of artwork, then you might be more of a maximalist. The next question is, when you get dressed every day, which of the following sentences usually applies to the outfits that you put together? Less is more, or more is more? I'm a firm believer that you can find so much insight into your personal style just by looking in your closet. If your clothing style tends to have a more is more kind of vibe to it, then it stands to reason that your interior style could be the same. If you're layering on the accessories, the jewelry, the patterns, the bold colors, and you're just generally making a somewhat dramatic statement with your outfits every day, then you might be a maximalist. If less is more tends to apply to your outfits on a regular basis, then you might be a minimalist. If your clothing tends to be more simple and classic and timeless, and you're not really one to fuss with a ton of jewelry or dabble with the crazy prints, and you just like a streamlined, no fuss, no muss clothing style, then minimalism might be a great fit for you. And the final question is a simple one. Which of the following is more important to you? Simplicity or self-expression? I think that you can boil down maximalism versus minimalism into just simply self-expression versus simplicity. Now, that's not to say that minimalists aren't expressing themselves. They very much are. But like I said earlier, it's more about restraint. It's more about pulling back. And there's an art to that for sure. Whereas with maximalism, you can really indulge. You can buy whatever you want, whenever you want it, and it'll go with the maximalist aesthetic. So if you're someone who values self-expression over simplicity, then you might be a maximalist. And then on the other hand, if you find that you thrive off of simplicity and you just don't really want to have to fuss with your decor very much and you just want to exist and relax in your space, then the more simplified aesthetic of minimalism might be best for you. All right, so that was my little quiz on the whole maximalism versus minimalism situation. I know a lot of you probably already know where you stand in the spectrum between these two styles, and I'm pretty sure most of you happen to be maximalists like me. But I want to press upon you that both styles can be so beautiful. And it really just depends on the person and what their individual needs are. So when figuring out your personal interior style, simply just think, what are my needs? What does my brain need on a daily basis that my space can give me? Let me know in the comments below, which one are you? A maximalist, a minimalist, a minimalist, somewhere in between? Let me know. I think if Hilo were a human, she would be a maximalist because she's very dramatic and so over the top. And remember, your apartment is destined to be pretty, and you are pretty powerful.